So that dreaded check engine light just popped on, huh? You grab your scanner, plug it in, and up comes this code, P2004. Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to crack this code, figure out exactly what your engine is trying to tell you, and most importantly, what you can do about it. All right, let's get into it.
Yeah, I get it. Seeing a code like P2004 pop up can be a little intimidating. But you gotta remember, it's not just some random jumble of letters and numbers. It's actually a super specific message from your car's computer. And really understanding that message, that's the first and most important step to getting it fixed. So think of this explainer as your personal translator. We're gonna take this technical jargon and turn it into plain English so you know exactly what's going on under your hood.
Okay, let's not waste any time. Let's decode this thing. What does P2004 actually mean? We'll start with the official, the textbook definition, and then we'll break it down so it makes sense. Right off the bat, you'll notice how incredibly specific this is. This isn't some vague, engine problem light. Nope, your car's computer has zeroed in on one particular system, the intake manifold runner control, or IMRC, and it's telling you, hey, something in here is physically stuck open. Now, you might see that bank 1 part and get a little confused. Don't worry about it. It's really just a location marker. If you're driving a V6 or a V8, it just tells you which side of the engine has the problem. And hey, for all you 4-cylinder drivers out there, you've only got one bank anyway, so you can pretty much ignore that part. The real key here, the part we need to focus on, is stuck open. So why is stuck open such a big deal? Well, to get that, we need to quickly cover how this whole system is supposed to work. The easiest way to think about it is like your engine's lungs. This system controls how your engine breathes. And a great way to picture it is with breathing straws. Imagine your engine is breathing through a straw. What this IMRC system does is it changes the length and the width of that straw on the fly to make sure the engine is breathing perfectly for whatever you're asking it to do. So think about it like this. When you're just jogging or, cruising around town at low RPMs, the engine uses a long, skinny straw. This makes the air rush in faster, and that gives you that great low-end torque, that oomph to get you moving. But then, you floor it. You're in a full-on sprint. The system instantly switches to a short, wide-open straw, so the engine can just gulp in massive amounts of air for maximum horsepower. And that right there is the heart of the problem. A P2004 code means your engine's breathing straw is stuck in sprint mode. The little flaps that are supposed to switch between the long and short paths, they're jammed wide open. And yeah, that's fine when you're flying down the highway, but it's absolutely terrible when you're just trying to idle at a stoplight or pull away gently. Okay, so what does that actually feel like from the driver's seat? How do you know your engine is stuck in this sprint mode without even plugging in a scanner? Let's talk about the symptoms you'll notice. Well, aside from that check engine light glaring at you, the number one thing you're gonna feel is sluggishness. It's like your car just doesn't want to get up and go, especially from a standstill. It feels lazy, hesitant. You might also notice the engine is idling kind of rough. Your gas mileage takes a nosedive, and sometimes you might even hear a little rattling or clicking sound coming from the engine bay. That's the sound of the system trying to move those flaps but failing. All right, we know what's wrong and we know how it feels, so now it's time to put on our detective hats. What or who is the culprit here? What's actually causing those little flaps to get jammed up? Now, there are a few usual suspects we could line up. But I'll tell you right now, there is one cause that is responsible for this code way, way more often than all the others combined. Any ideas what it might be? Yep, it's good old carbon buildup. It's just gunk. Over thousands of miles, sticky carbon deposits build up all around these little flaps and their hinges until they literally get glued into the open position. It's basically like a door hinge getting so rusty and caked with dirt that you just can't close it anymore. Now, of course, it's not always carbon, so if you check and things look clean, there are a few other things to look at. It could be the actuator itself, the little motor or vacuum pod that moves the flaps has failed. Or maybe the little plastic linkage connecting the actuator to the flaps has broken or just popped off. You could even have a cracked vacuum line or a bad wire. And a faulty computer? It's possible, I guess, but that is super rare. Always check the simple stuff first. So, let's get to the good part, the action plan. How do we actually fix this? I'm going to walk you through a simple, logical game plan to diagnose the problem and get your engine breathing the way it's supposed to. Okay, here's your 4-step approach. Step 1, just use your eyes. Take a good look. Do you see any little plastic arms that are snapped? Any vacuum hoses that are cracked or have popped off? Step 2, with the engine off, reach in there and try to move the linkage by hand. Does it move freely, or is it stiff, or totally stuck? If it's stuck, bingo, you've probably found your carbon buildup. If it moves easily, then you move to step 3, which is testing the electrical side of things, usually with a scan tool to command the system on and off. And finally, step 4, based on what you found, you either clean all that gunk off or you replace the broken part. But, and this is a really important heads up, on certain vehicles, some Ford models are pretty famous for this, the whole intake manifold is one sealed plastic box. You literally can't get inside to clean those flaps. And in that case, unfortunately, your only option is to replace the entire manifold assembly. So that leaves us with the big question, right? Is a simple cleaning all your engine needs to get back on track? Now that you know how this system works, what the symptoms are, and how to hunt down the real cause, you've got the power to figure that out. Hopefully, you feel a lot more confident about tackling that P2004 code head-on.